Tyler Warren is Sean Payton's dream. The more I watch him, the more I am convinced that he's the perfect player for Sean Payton. And it's why I'm asking in the comments before we get to the film review, if you're a team at 20, like our Denver Broncos, or a team later than that, would you trade a future second round pick to move up into the tens and teens in order to get him? Uh, I I would not be opposed. I'm going to be honest, Broncos country. I know that we've been short for draft picks for a while, but Tyler Warren is a guy that if we trade up for, man, I would love it. And I'll get into why here in just a moment. Again, just want to thank Guru Film Room for providing this cut up for me. You guys can sign up to his film room below for the largest database of all 22 college tape and player specific cut ups. Links in the description. Early birds ending soon. So use that code. Like, subscribe, join the chat. I'll run through a handful of plays with Tyler Warren, and then I'll get to y'all's thoughts on all this. But I think you guys are really going to enjoy this film. I did breaking it down as well. So let's go ahead and get into it. And as a reminder, guys, I do have this slowed down to 0.7. I do have to pause periodically throughout this film, just so I'm not getting any copyright dings like I did the last time I did, because I broke my own rules. I didn't care, and then it got demonetized. So anyways, let's go ahead and get into it. This first play right here, you're just going to see that he's the complete tight end here. You're going to see some blocking plays, which they bring him in motion from out wide, and watch, he just takes on 34. Is that Jack Kaiser? But squares him up, completely just takes him out of the play. You know, that's awesome to see. We'll run it again here in slow motion. But guy you'll see later on, I mean, he can block the DBs, he can block the linebackers, he can block defensive ends. He can lead block for you through like an I formation if you need to at the pro level, like a fullback would. I just love his versatile, well-rounded game. And just laying hands on that guy. Let's see who 34 is. Yeah, it's not Kaiser. Maybe it's somebody else. I'm not too familiar with the Notre Dame roster, but yeah, locks up 34. Thing of beauty. Let's get to another run block that I really like here, the 240 mark. So they got Tyler Warren in here up top. All right. They bring him in motion again, and just takes out that safety, and it allows 13 to cut back. I think that's Allen. Allows him to just cut back, and what might have been a very short gain becomes an intermediate gain, which is great, like a gain of like 4 or 5. You'll see it happen right here. Aller calls for him to move in motion, and right there, I mean, just takes him out of the play. Those are the little things that can make a bad running game go to a decent one, or a decent one go to a really, really good one. Let's continue to move on. How about we see how he does in the screen game? How's that sound, guys? So at 420, all right, you can see him. And I think this is like a little jailbreak type screen down here. Man in motion. Watch how they just kind of clear out. Just beautiful play design right there. You got 3 offensive linemen already moving up there. But again, a guy, when you get him the ball in space, he can get upfield. He can run through guys. I mean, great play design. Everybody's thinking it's going outside. And then Warren, look at that speed to beat number 2. Isn't that a beautiful thing? Watch how he does it again. Boom, beats number 2. And just trucks that dude at the end. Like, I love this stuff. Bam, boom, baby. It's a thing of beauty. So let's watch it here from the end zone view. Grabs it. Oh yeah, gonna run through you. Oh yeah, now I'm gonna truck you. I mean, how can you not want this guy on your team? So a lot of you guys are probably watching, are Broncos fans, but Maybe some of y'all aren't, but I'm sure that you guys would be thrilled. Any team would be thrilled to have a guy like this from the tight end position on their team. Tight end's a position to where you don't get many guys like this. It can be hard to find, and when you got an opportunity to get one, I am of the idea that you should go get him. Let's watch how he seals this edge in the run blocking game. And I think they might bring him in line. Maybe they don't. No, they don't. But what kind of helps chip that defensive tackle, 66, just helps seal the edge on 66. Beautiful thing. I mean, he's totally out of the play. Allen gets a really nice gain here. Again, just just works his way over, just casually, locking up a nose guard, just casually, or their nose tackle. Oh yeah. I'll take it. I'll take it every time. Let's take a look at him lead blocking. Like, so you see him here as like a running back, but can you imagine him in like an I formation providing a block? And again, his versatility, as you've seen, you can put him in line at tight end, you can put him out wide, you can put him in the slot, you can put him in the backfield, whether it's shotgun or behind center. You can put him in at Wildcat quarterback, which we'll see. But I mean, how could you not want somebody that does all these things on your team? Providing a nice little lead block. Now, maybe you should have just followed Warren. We'll have to see how this goes. Oh, yeah, maybe not. No, but he stops 24. That's great. And I'll make a case for him on the roster, but I just think Sean Payton, has gotten really specialized players, to play very specific roles throughout his tenure. And this is a guy potentially being Tyler Warren that just kind of alleviates you having to have a bunch of guys to do some very specific things. You can have him kind of all in one player. Let's watch some Wildcat quarterback running. Here at quarterback. Taking the snap. Look at the patience, the vision, not to outrun his blocking, and then continues to just run. Yak, baby. Yards after contact, the contact bounce. This is like a 10-yard gain. It's just a thing of beauty. Over 10 yards. But the patience that he has there to make sure 66 is getting upfield. And then, so you can hand him the ball, you can throw him the ball, you can have him pass the ball. We'll see it coming up here. Let's see. At the 9:45 mark, which is actually this next play. Now watch, normally when you got other position players being quarterbacks, sometimes they'll stay aggressive because they want to make that pass. Well, Tyler Warren's done this so much that he'll throw the ball out of bounds. He's not going to make a bad throw, but here he just uses his athleticism to beat the contain. That read's not open. All right, I'm going to scramble like a good quarterback would. He could have hit Aller, but why would you throw that? He stiff arms 4. And let's just go watch that again. Brings the guy in motion, stiff arms 4, outruns the linebacker, and then they're in position for a short to gain for the first down on this next play. But again, just love to see his decision making. All right, 3's not there. Oh, my second read's not there. I'm going to look to get out of here. And 4, get out of here. 41, you're not even going to have a chance to get me. Boom. Let's watch him lock up this linebacker in the passing game, which is always nice to see. Down here at the bottom of the screen, again, you've seen him used in this kind of little Jordan Humphrey way a lot, where he's kind of taking care of the linebackers, just blowing him out of the water, out of the play, and it opens up a nice big hole. So again, just shows more versatility, which Sean Payton loves, but we can bring him in motion, in line a little bit, and just have him take care of a defensive end or a linebacker as he does here. That's really great stuff. All right, let's get to the passing game. I know y'all have been wanting the passing game stuff, so let's see him run a little quick out here. I mean, just imagine Bo Nix hitting him in the quick out game. Sorry, I keep getting my timestamps wrong on this. So they line him up at quarterback, then they bring him in motion. You'll see it all happen. They bring him across the formation and just kind of have him run this quick little sideline pattern. So a quick out, boom. And I mean, Aller gets that ball to him late. Imagine when he's got a quarterback in the NFL who most of the good ones, right, will throw with good anticipation and timing even before he's out of that break. If they see that safety coming up to play with, you know, they identify that early. Really good route there from 3 to make sure that he's kind of setting the pick. But yeah, he's going to get the ball and have the ability to still get upfield in the NFL, I think. Now, you deal with better tacklers too, so that's always a thing, but again, just imagine the potential there is. You can run quick outs with this tight end. Okay? That's impressive. Let's see him get some yak. 1339. Bring him in motion, split out wide, busted coverage just from bringing him in motion, and then okay, he's always getting yards after the catch and always yards after the contact. But look, that motion just right before the snap sets off a little snafu on defense. They're wondering, hey, who's got 44? And you think they know, but clearly there's a miscommunication because once the ball is snapped, both of these DBs are going towards the outside receiver. Nobody is dropping into this middle of the field. And when you get Tyler Warren the ball in space, I mean, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. And carries him for another like 10 yards before he goes down. Come on now. And this is probably his most impressive catch of the game here at the 14:20 mark. Here down at the bottom of the screen and run him in motion. And I mean, just watch this. Sorry. Gets free. And I mean, just beats that coverage. Beats man coverage. Just a beautiful route. So, I mean, I'm guessing 8 is, I mean, he's some sort of DB, probably a safety, and maybe he is an outside guy. I don't know, but totally just eats him for lunch. Watch the route here. Again, look at that break. Oh, you can't see the break. I wish you could have, but you see the result of it. Really nice pass there from Aller. And let's end this on another wow block. We need a tight end that can do everything. So, again, you've seen this, the little Jordan Humphrey blocks coming in motion. Going to knock you way out the play. And it helps open up a nice, substantial gain for the Nittany Lions. And I mean, I just love how he keeps his feet moving here. It eventually kind of goes out of frame. But look, he takes 4. Oh, yeah, just completely drives him out of the play. Just insane. Just insane. And so, Yeah, like Tyler Warren, man. He's a guy, again, answer this in the chat or in the comments on the replay. Would you, if you're the Broncos or, a team in the 20s, we're at pick 20, would you trade your 2026 second to make sure that you're getting him, to trade up in the draft? I would. And I'll bring up his statistics here really quick. Get to his run blocking, graded out at 58.2. I think that's definitely serviceable, no doubt about it. But let's get to the receiving. 104 receptions this year, guys, for 1,230 yards, 8 touchdowns, 11.8 yards per reception. And look at this. 33% of his snaps in line when targeted, okay? 14% out wide, 47% in the slot. He's a guy where you can just have him anywhere. Drops, he had 3 drops on 135 targets. Are you kidding me? So, yeah, the drop percentage, 2.8%, that's great. Contested catch rate, essentially 62%, 13 of 21. If Brock Bowers is going at pick 13, I imagine Tyler Warren is going to be going somewhere around there as well. But think about it. Think about the Sean Payton offense, guys. Like, let me pull this up as well, the big board. Think about the Sean Payton offense and how many guys he has here for and they got him ranked the number 13 prospect here. But imagine this. You got little Jordan Humphrey, who plays that big slot type of role for what he can do in the run game, similar to what we've seen Tyler Warren showcase here today. He can block the edges, the linebackers, all of that. We got Nate Atkins, who is a tight end, but also plays a little bit of fullback. Michael Burton has been a full-time fullback for us, somebody that, we need because, again, our other tight ends, Troutman, Kroll can't do this, but Nate Atkins can get in the backfield and be a lead blocker. Michael Burton is strictly just a lead blocker, all of that. And so I guess all that to say, Tyler Warren, he's your Lil Jordan Humphrey big slot. He's your Nate Atkins. He can be your Michael Burton, right? And he also allows you to not have to change out personnel so often because you actually have somebody that's really versatile. I mean, how many times did we see us do a play with, out of empty or out of like a 4 wide, 1 wide receiver, like no tight ends in there, okay? Like 10 personnel. And then you see the next play we have to substitute. We can't even go no huddle or hurry up or whatnot. Tyler Warren allows you to stay multiple without changing the personnel package. You could essentially run 10 personnel with him as that 4th wide receiver out there. Then on the next play, you could have him as an inline tight end. He's somebody, again, that you can bring in motion and scheme open, a guy that can beat man coverage as a tight end. Guys, we shouldn't take this for granted. He's a guy that can also take Wildcat snaps like Taysom Hill. Of course, Taysom Hill, that's an important part of it. I think a lot of Taysom Hill's rise was also because Drew Brees' arm was just not great. It was kind of shot, by the end of it, his shoulder and whatnot. But he can still do some of those trick plays, misdirection, everything like that you need. He's very comfortable doing that. He can run the ball if you need him to run the ball, as you've seen. And so, but you think about it with where we're at with the wide receivers. Say we get Cortland Sutton and we sign another wide receiver in free agency that's a starting caliber wide receiver. we signed Jawan Johnson, it kind of takes you out of needing to draft so many guys for a specific role because Tyler Warren can be your big slot at 6'6", 265 pounds. So you don't necessarily need to draft another wide receiver when your top guys are Sutton, a free agent signing that should be decent, Marvin Mims, then you got Vele. Let's see what can develop out of Franklin, right? And then with your tight ends, again, you can run Jawan Johnson out there. You can run Tyler Warren out there with him. And again, you don't have to substitute. So you could run Tyler Warren as a big slot. You could run him as an outside wide receiver on the next play. Then you could bring him in and run like a true, inline tight end where it's looking like 21 personnel, 2 tight ends and 1 running back out there. It would allow us to use those roster spots in other areas, right? So again, I just feel like there's a little bit of redundancy right now with some of the roles that Sean Payton has wanted because of his offense, right? He's needed guys that can do very particular things very well, even if they can't do other things well. Tyler Warren takes away the need to have a whole bunch of guys to do very specific things. He can do all these things very, very well. And imagine Jawan Johnson, Tyler Warren, okay? Somebody like Darius Slayton in there. I just think the more I look into it today, the more that I'm just in the mood. You know what? Screw it. Who cares about a 2026 second round pick? We're going for the AFC West title this year, baby. So why not? Why not trade up to pick 13 or something like that and make sure you're getting Tyler Warren? Okay? Because if we don't get somebody like Tyler Warren, what do we need? We're still going to need a big slot. That's not going to be Jawan Johnson, even though, he could do it, but that's not going to be him. We're still going to need another tight end. So you're still going to be drafting guys to fill these roles where, I think Tyler Warren helps fill these roles in one player and allows you to just draft best player available moving forward. So there's my case. I'll get to some of y'all's comments here. Thanks for sticking with me. Hopefully you enjoyed this film review. Again, shout out to Guru Film Room for having me on. If you want access to the largest all-22 database, film database, and player-specific cut-ups, links in the description. I believe the early bird special for 20% off for your year is ending shortly. So early bird -Dave. That's the code. All right, Mark Esports. Mark, what's going on? Quentin Caldwell, everybody's in here. LTB Muse, what's going on? So Mark says finishing with violence. That's what he does. Hope you guys are all doing well. We'll get to some of that. Dude, Tyler Warren fills that hole. We got this big hole and we're trying to fill it with little butt plugs, right? And Tyler Warren, he's the big butt plug. So that's just what we need, man. That's just what we need. T Fishes. He is the Joker Sean Payton has been talking about. I doubt any trading up will happen. This is the first year we've had draft capital and cap space, so I think they'll be hesitant to give up anything. T Fishes, I'm with you on that. It's been so long since we've had 7 picks coming into the draft. I do wonder. I think George Payton really helped keep Sean Payton patient, not to trade up for Bo Nix, and it worked out, right? But Sean Payton, has traditionally been aggressive going and getting the guys that he believes in. He has said he kind of felt the same way about Bo Nix as he did with Patrick Mahomes, and the Chiefs ended up sniping him, which sucked. But and I can't say this because I'm not Sean Payton, but if Tyler Warren gives Sean Payton those similar Patrick Mahomes vibes with just how special of a player he could be in his offense, I think you go and do it. But we'll find out. If we end up not trading up and getting him, then I think it's safe to say that he doesn't feel that way about him. But if he does, I'm all for it. Fill that hole, gets me bricked up. Yeah, let's go. And yeah, he can even throw touchdowns to Bo. Now, hopefully, we don't have to do that very often. But there were some games where Bo was our best receiver. Well, one, but still, Tyler Warren, he can run the Philly special. He can run those trick plays every now and then. Broncos fan for life. Thanks for tuning in. Y'all be sure to smash that like and subscribe. Also, go follow my friends, Marquee Sports Denver. He's coming out with a great live stream later tonight. You're not going to want to miss it, as well as my friends at Let's Talk Broncos. Thoughts on hometown tight end Gunnar Helm? I think he's underrated. I don't know if I think Gunnar Helm's underrated because I would probably put him in my like top 3 to 4 of tight ends, right? I would probably put it Tyler Warren, Colston Loveland, and Gunnar Helm just in terms of like really finished products. So does he have maybe the straight line speed somebody like Harold Fannin does? I don't think so, but I think he could be a really, really good tight end. He can do everything. And we've seen in this offense, if you cannot block in this offense, you're not going to see the field, whether you're at running back, tight end, or wide receiver. So Gunnar Helm can do that. I think he'll be a second round pick. I think he will be. So if we don't go tight end in the first, we end up going a tight end with our second. I would love that. And again, as a second round pick, he's somebody that I would expect to be a starter or starting level player for us. We'll see who we add in free agency. And he does have a great name, Gunnar Helm. Yeah, it's a great name. Tez Johnson, like in my post, he has me so bricked up. Guys, Tez Johnson, he's very interesting. I change my opinion on him every single day. He's too small. What do you weigh in at? Like 156 pounds? That's insane. That's insane. But then you see he's just tearing guys up at the Senior Bowl practices. He's separating like crazy. Exactly what you'd expect. But man, I don't know what you do with Tez Johnson. Yeah, exactly. Tyler Warren, he is the anti-Noah Fant. Certified baller. And what was really cool about this game against Notre Dame in the college football playoff, again, that was like a 15-minute cut up. If you want to watch the whole thing, again, sign up on Guru's Film Room. But it just showed entirely how versatile he is, all the ways in which you can use him. And I think that's really cool. But hey, would you trade a second and a third for him to move up? I think I would. But T Fishes says there's similar talent that will be available. Now, I will say, I think I'm higher on Colston Loveland than other people. If we were to draft Colston Loveland with our 20th pick, I would be thrilled. I think Colston Loveland gives you a little bit of that same kind of dynamicism. I don't know if he's still very explosive, but I feel like Tyler Warren is still just a little bit more explosive. But one thing that is going for Colston Loveland and some of these other guys is that Tyler Warren's 23. Colston Loveland, I don't think has even turned 21 yet. And there's some younger tight ends here. So there's a guy, like Harold Fannin. He's a little bit more raw maybe, but with his athletic profile, he could definitely develop into somebody that is used in the ways in which we just showcased with Warren. So I can respect and if we decide that we can get a tight end later on that can fill this role, I'm happy. Brock Bowers had 6 quarterbacks taken in this draft, or else he would have gone top 7. I think you're right about that. Sean's gonna sub regardless. We'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. Markey just traded pick 11 for next year's second rounder, and the Bears trade to pick 11. Oh, you traded the Broncos pick. You traded up to 11 using next year's second rounder, and the Bears took him at pick 10. Man, that would just be the dumbest. If the Bears draft any more skill position players, they are cooked. They need an offensive line so bad. They could probably get the top offensive tackle in this year's draft, depending on how things go. Bears need to go offensive line. But yeah, this is a great question. If you trade up and Genty's there, well, man, shoot, dude. Might as well draft Genty, right? That's an interesting question. If we get a great slot receiver in free agency, that would help trade up for this year. Yes, because again, when I'm doing all these mock drafts and stuff like that, for the most part, outside of the new perfect Denver Broncos offseason, where I incorporate free agent signings and all that into things. Marky's done some of that too. You're trying to kind of fill all your needs with all the picks. Hopefully, we're able to address things in free agency to what, like, we're not screwed at any of these positions going into the draft if we don't draft that position. Excuse me. But yeah, we'll have to see how it goes. If we can get a great slot receiver, Mark has brought up Chris Godwin. Got Chris Godwin, Cortland Sutton, Marvin Mims, Dele, Franklin as like your top 5. And you could still bring in somebody day 3 or whatever, like Will Shepherd, right? Hopefully his stock doesn't go too high, because I really want him here in Denver. But you got those guys, like, can't use a third to trade up. I guess that means that, hey, if you're going to do that, you better be damn sure that you're going to get your running back with your second round pick. I'm going to lose my mind if we don't draft a running back in the top 3 rounds. Or UMC smoke, that you said smoke, but UMC smoke. Broncos Nation, let's ride. Tez in the 5th would be nice. I would totally take Tez in the 5th round. I mean, once you kind of get to the 5th round and beyond, it's just kind of take the guy you want to take a shot on. Highly doubt a team would make that trade for a future second teams want to add picks this year. Yeah, and I know there are some people that are much better with like the draft, pick value and all that stuff, because you trade up with like points and whatnot. I don't know how that goes. I don't think any of these mock draft simulators take that into account, because I feel like the trades being offered to me half the time are like so dumb, so unrealistic. I wish they would like make them on like hard difficulty, so that we can at least be somewhat realistic. But man, I got no idea what gets you from 20 to 12. What gets you from 20 to 13? Let me know in the comments. Hopefully we're about to find out. We go get ourselves a weapon, and I guess I need to do a video on Genty. Would you trade future draft capital up to go get Genty? I don't know. Maybe now I sound like a hypocrite, but I think there's still really great running backs available that you could get in the 2nd round. But I don't know if I feel like there are other tight ends truly at this level that Tyler Warren's at. I'll need to think about that for a bit. But guys, I'm going to get out of here. Again, thank you so much for tuning in. This was a lot of fun doing the Tyler Warren Film Room. I know I owe y'all Matthew Golden a film room, a guy that we could possibly take in the 1st or 2nd round, depending on kind of where he lands. So I guess I'll do that tomorrow. Y'all be sure to tune into that. Again, go check out Marky Sports and his live stream tonight. I think that's going on in about an hour or so. So, and thank you so much. 2,200 subscribers. We're on our way to 2,300. So be sure to like, subscribe on the way out. As always, y'all, go Broncos.